Good afternoon. This is Phil Zelmer. This is my final uh, assignment for Field 2, Problem Policy Analysis and Presentation 8.2. So I've entitled this Unforeseen Consequences of Delta 8 and Other Synthetic THC Products. The policy I'd like to propose specifically focuses on the state of Wisconsin and the use of Delta 8. It's essentially says I would propose a Wisconsin state law which would require the sale of Delta 8 products to be regulated by the FDA for the purposes of consistency in ingredients as well as production processes. This proposal would also ban the sale of Delta 8 products to anyone under the age of 21 and would impose strict fines to offenders under the age of 21 caught in possession or found purchasing Delta 8 products. So what's the problem? Delta 8 is a synthetic THC drug. It is actually not derived specifically from cannabis, but it is an ancillary molecule. Without getting into biomolecular science, which I don't entirely truly understand, it looks at a chemical way of getting the same high from CBD as opposed to true THC. Um, the problem that we're seeing is twofold. One, we're seeing an increase in use of CBD products or Delta 8 specifically within younger children. Um, in a study completed in 2024, more than 11% of 12th graders had used Delta 8 in the last year. That that's kind of a huge number if you look at the number of individuals studied in the research, as well as look at the fact that they didn't go any farther down in the grades. They looked at high schoolers because that was age 18. Uh, that's scary to think of how many younger children are also using it, specifically related or because the products themselves are geared to be gummies. They look like candy, and kids at times have no idea what they're taking. Uh, Delta 8 is currently an unmonitored product by the FDA, which means you can make it any which way you want to. You can use any different chemicals to make it as you so choose. Um, there's no rhyme, reason, or regulation as to how it's done, which means that you can use caustic, horrible chemicals in the creation of it, and people will still take it because it's marked as Delta 8. So why does it really matter? Well, let's look at the negative side. One, um, Delta 8 has been specifically shown to have a very negative impact on individuals who have predispositions for psychiatric problems. In fact, uh, it, in a number of studies and a number of incidences, has actually shown to cause psychotic breaks. Um, And this is unfortunately impacting not only our younger generation, but also our run-of-the-mill old people. Um, on the flip side, Delta 8 is a huge booming product. Back in 2020, Delta 9, which is another CBD derivative, essentially just another molecule off the elemental chart, so to speak, was banned because of the amount of damage it was doing to people in terms of not only physiologically but also psychiatrically. It even has a higher propensity for causing individuals to have psychotic breaks, and um, what we would consider a normal person suffering from then symptoms of that were very akin to schizophrenia or other issues. But in 2020, the sales of Delta 8 went from $2 million to last year, 2.7 billion. That's with a B, billion dollars. And this was pulled out of a report, actually from a website that encourages the sale of CBD and encourages the creation of marketing products. Um, Delta 8 can be purchased pretty much anywhere. It can be sold in gas stations. It can be sold. There's actually a candy store in our town who sells Delta 8 products. So it can be sold anywhere. And the only uh, restriction is you have to be 21. But that doesn't stop online sales where, and I actually went on a number of sites in research for this presentation where it says, "Are you 21?" with a simple yes or no, doesn't even ask you the date of birth. So, so what is the real problem? We are allowing a new drug to be used that has and can have significant harm on the mental health and physical health of individuals. Let's see. So, is this a problem that most people think or care about? Unfortunately, no. Most people are looking at a simple way to, well, it's been marketed to do anything from relieve stress, deal with arthritis, grow your hair back, make your girlfriend come back, and you find your dog. Um, Unfortunately, we live in a society where we don't want to fix our problems. We choose to escape our products or our problems through different means. But again, it's something that most of the individuals in society don't realize how damaging or how much of a gamble they're taking when they take a gummy. So, what's the social impact? Most people wouldn't think of Delta 8 as a social issue. I would beg to differ, simply because of the impact that I have specifically seen when I was working in a behavioral health unit, watching lawyers and bankers who went from normal functioning individuals uh, and coming in with a no previous experience or history of psychotic behaviors to now having psychotic breaks, uh, unable to hold down a job, unable to pay their bills. Um, so, in terms of laws and regulations, there are no regulations regarding Delta 8 other than the fact that it can't be sold to someone under the age of 21. And as I previously stated, it's pretty dang easy for anyone, and I mean anyone. My 14-year-old could get my debit card and go online and purchase it right now to get access to it. I've talked to my daughters who are in college who are easily getting access to it. There's also no laws in regards to the manufacturer. The areas where it's truly impacting us socially, though, is specifically in our mental health and our substance abuse issue or areas. When we look at the mental health side, individuals who had previously been completely stable without any mental health diagnoses, who did not require additional treatment or support, are now becoming unstable, uh, requiring hospitalization, and sometimes they require institutionalization because of their level of need. If we're looking at the impact of this on substance abuse, if we start looking at this from the perspective of how dangerous it is and the legalization of it, so to speak, or the monitoring of it, we'll have the same thing that happened when K2 or Delta 9 was banned. It becomes a substance that people want because they can't have it. And we then look at the development of a market for individuals who are looking at um, purchasing it illegally. There are already some regulations in terms of whether you can use gummies while driving. It's still under most state and federal laws considered intoxication if you're found driving under it. But it really comes down to this medicine that we've created for ourselves has a significant impact on our mental health, as well as people's need for it in terms of substance abuse. In terms of articles in the media, I apologize, I haven't figured out how to do this, but Dr. Casale, I'll include my entire report for this, or the link for this in my report. This is actually a story that comes out of Georgia, one of a myriad of stories that I found. It follows a 17-year-old who was on the football team, straight A student, college bound. Uh, he got into Delta 8 and Delta 9. Within a matter of a very short period of time, he went from being a fully functioning individual to someone who is on a Chapter 51 and was institutionalized because of his level of mental illness. Now, that being said, according to the story, he took excessive amounts, but in looking at the packaging that you can find for most Delta 8 products, they look like candy that I can find in the candy bowl that I have here at my own house. It looks very similar, and it's designed to look that way so that it's appealing to not only the grown-up population, but also the younger generation. So marketing to a targeted in or age set. But this young gentleman, unfortunately, is not doing too well. Now, this is just one of a myriad of stories out there in terms of individuals that have had psychotic breaks as a result of this drug that we've created. But I encourage you to watch it, and when you have time, look at some of the impacts that it has not only on our immediate concerns for social welfare when we're looking at the need for social supports and trying to encourage inclusivity, but look at it from the perspective of preventing damage that is being done. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I have included in this my references, and to be honest, most of these I just used for citations. Um, there were over 70 articles that I ran through that just speak to the damage and danger of this product. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a good summer. We'll see you in fall.